love this fucking game. I am totally immersed in it. I'm sure it'll get boring sooner or later, but like, I love it right now. It's such a good game.
Warp drive active.
Okay, she needs to get in her miasmos. Board. I want, in the miasmos, I want to put, warp core stabilizers. Can she wear this? I do. Okay, so I want to buy 1, 2 of these. I don't know if you can have more than one of these, but I'll buy 2 of them. It's fine. And I want warp. Core stabilizers fit. Fit. Oh, only 1. Okay. I don't know how the system worked anymore. So what else can I do for this thing? I can give it a 5MN micro warp drive, I guess. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, let's go see what miasmos fits I have. Yeah, how much is that? It's 11 mil. I actually want this to be... But instead of the inert stabs, yeah, this is perfect, actually. I want you to... Oh, look, it's even got a prototype cloaking device. Yeah, fit ship. Yes, fit the rigs. Buy all. Yeah, and buy all, and I want you to fit this. Fit this, yeah. There we go. And then in this, I also want a warp core stab. I don't know why you don't have one. Yep. And this is everything that I want. It's even got 10,000 EHP, so it won't die instantly. She has a spirit skin, which is cool. There's no real reason why she can't have the same settings that I do. Oh yeah, I've got to get out there to, like, the closest Jaspit, I guess, and just take the risk. Get a D-scan. I don't see a ganker or any problems, so I'm just gonna... I wonder if there's a little bit of stuff going on here. Yeah, there is. There we go. And also with you. I want all of that stuff checked, though. Yep. And I see no reason why she can't have the same settings. And also, I think, no, yeah, so it's like disable, low, medium, high, high. Wait, I want medium, medium. On both of them, I realized. I want something that I can get on both of them, right? So medium. And the reflection should be on low as well. Because yeah, and the LOD should be on medium. Medium, medium, medium on medium, medium, medium. Disable, disable, low. Low. And then go to ultra quality for her. There, we're looking a little bit better, right? Yep, we're looking a little better, right? A little bit better. So, okay, now she should be at the asteroid and ready to mine. Now, I will begin jet cam mining. Okay, let's go.
Warp drive active.
Wait. This thing, I want it to have a... I don't care about its armor too much.
Docking permission requested.
I want
Docking
it to
request
have
accepted.
speed. So unfit one of these mediums and stick a 5MN micro warp drive on it. Right? 262. I mean, that's alright, I guess. Yeah, 262. Unfit. Let's... Oops, what's happening here? Oh no, what happened here? What? Oh, okay. Why is that happening? Well, if I orbit this at 5... Will they miss me? I mean, it's a pretty fast ship. That sucks. Maybe there's drones here. In system, there is drones. Go dock, and I'll just get drones.
Warp drive active.
And I'll have them kill.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Only 2, but that's probably enough. Probably enough to kill them. If I orbit. Oh, yeah, I dropped the gas. Oh my god, it's a pilgrim. Just dock, just dock.
Docking permission requested.
Panther and a sin.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Ooh. Some kind of thing there. That's funny. I want to try a 1MN or, fit to active ship a 1MN afterburner and just see what it does. 191. Yep. So that's okay. That'll have to do. No, I'm going to unfit, and I'm going to do the micro warp drive, the 5MN compact micro warp drive. For the micro warp drive trick. Yeah, 263 is fine. Yep. This is a good slick hauler. I'm going to save it. No, exit sim. There we go. Much better. So now we go. We'll let them have their little tiff while I pilot her out. They're having a little tiff outside our station right now. I don't want to be involved. I'm just a venture capitalist.
Warp drive active.
D. Okay, SD. SD. D for... D, dock. D for dock. D for dock. Okay, so with the miasmos and 2 ventures, I can make quite a lot of money here if they leave me alone. And I don't know, I might have to bring out, like, if I die, I'll have to bring out, like, 10 more ventures in a hauler. But that's worth it to me because then I can just turn and burn ventures, you know?
Warp drive active.
I could bring the Akator out there full of fucking ventures. That is an option. And I could just fill you know, a thing. Okay, what else can I do? I have dealt with the wait. I have done the mission. I guess I tracked the next mission, and we're trying to do the lowest one, which is Marshall God's home. F track, and where are we going nearby in terms of like in terms of like, so we're going to. Oh, it tracks it for you. Yeah, I'd rather just like motorcycle. I like the motorcycle. It gets you wherever you're going like really fast. Oh yes. So jump. So then we go.
Warp drive active.
Cloak. Cloak. I think I should have put an improved on it. I think it's worth it. But that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try and practice this, right? A for a line. A line. Oops, wait, what happened there? I want you to A for a line. I want you to A for a line. Oh, sorry. A for a line. D for jump.
Warp drive active.
I love this game. It has such a vibe.
Warp drive active.
Here we go. Sorry. So I gotta practice this because it's kind of annoying. Oops, wait. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we try this again, right? We go... Okay. And we're gonna give this a little bit of time here. We have a Punisher here who jumped. I don't want him to know I'm here. I'm just gonna wait. There, he's gone. Okay, now we're gonna align, which is A for align, cloak, micro warp drive, and then at the end we say jump.
Warp drive active.
And I made it. And even if I died, it would only have been 11 million, you know? And now I can haul 550 plus 54, so I can haul 55,000, which is a jet can, which will probably be like 20 million. There's a Griffin Navy issue, but I mean, I'm jumping. Fuck it. Yeah. How many in local? 5. Gonna try again. I wanna align, cloak, micro warp drive, cancel, dock, kill the cloak. Did you dock? Dock, 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 dock. I told you to jump, bitch. You know I right-clicked and said dock. You know I did. I right-clicked and said dock. You know I did. What the hell was that? Oh, damn it.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I don't see where my currency is reflected. I really don't. Astral Duelits. Okay. X to redeem codes. Let's see what codes there are out there right now. Once human codes and how to redeem camouflage. Once human 0710. Vehicle skin color. Cool! Oops. Fuck, how did I do this? It was F. Oh. Ah. Was it F1? No, it was F2 or F3. I don't know. F3, I think. And then in events, you hit X, F3. And finally, copy, paste. Hey, cool. And then... Oh, I'm gonna tell my server. I'm gonna leave a message in my server. No, I want you to erase that. HYD. I made it all the way through. I have to edit. No, I messed it up, so we'll have to go back. It's alright. Oh god, I'll just delete it all, it's fine. Just delete all this. I'm gonna try and you know, do a favor to my community here, because it's free. It's all free. Oh no, I gotta do this one. I missed it. Oops. Now I'm gonna control control. Why was I so fucking high up on this chat list? That is ridiculous. What are you doing? Get me down to the bottom. What is this? Get down to the bottom. Oh my god, you suck at this. Where's the slider? Why did you sit this long on this fucking chat? I can't even see my chat. God damn it. Why did you attack me while I'm doing this? You're stupid. You're stupid. YQ 1500 56327 Gold Eagle. No. 3 event. Gather friends. F invite. Share my... Oh, yeah, soccer. Okay. Wow, that's my strongest weapon? Oh, I don't know. How about... Oh, no, I don't want to give away that blue assault rifle, but I'll give that old huntsman DP away. Share weapons. F invite. Nope. Share weapons. Event. Regular event. Nope. C. You fucked up. God damn it. Oh well, I did enough of it. I tried to give him free codes, but I didn't even see evidence that it did my text. So annoying.
Clean, 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 and organize, and polish.
You know, you could learn a thing or two from this thing. This deviation might prove very useful, wherever it came from. Let's take it back to low, and see if we can keep it for ourselves.
The physical form of the deviation is called shikigami, a ritual object once used in certain religious ceremonies. But now, once harnessed, it is an industrious and reliable servant. I'm sure you saw what it is capable of already.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to go back out now. Venture Brothers, board ship. There's a lot of people in this station. It's annoying. But we will go venture mining now. Let's see what money I can make in low sec. Oh. Yeah, so let's go.
Warp drive active.
Alright, we're gonna go out to that as fast as possible. Now we're gonna align to the station. Align. Which is that way. Stop. Stop. And then I'm gonna align to the station. And then I'm gonna pop drones. And I'm gonna tell them to guard. You put the wrong thing, did you? Nope. Oh, return to drone bay is F, but launch drones, I think I want to be G. Yep. So launch drones, I want you to guard her. I want you to launch drones and mine those. And I want to orbit, or no, I don't want to orbit. I just want to, that's one of mine. I think that's fine.
As I said, this deviation has no malice
I think the
towards
cokehead
humans
should have
and
been
can
at
be
the
an
town.
excellent addition to the home. As long as you take care of it, it will do its best to help take care of your home. This deviation genuinely enjoys the more tedious household chores. And that is, in and of itself, priceless. Not unlike a bird with important knowledge.
Where are those bandages used to keep? It's fine. Now, next we do the next level of tasks. Carnival Doom. Yay, we are now mining in low sec. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so shortcuts for drones. I want launch drones to be G. Reassign. Turn F. G. Fire. Gonna load a video.
You!
You're next!
You may ask yourself, well, did the accusations in there, were they limited to just Rebecca Schofield? No, they weren't limited to just Rebecca Schofield. Ashley said that Rebecca had worked with another student, a guy by the name of Jack, who was Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. So yeah, is there any evidence for that?
Warp drive
No.
active.
And in the wake of the murders, Kaylee's family stood firmly behind Jack,
Warp
supporting
drive
him, saying there's
active.
no chance he had any involvement because it just doesn't make sense. It's illogical. There's no evidence. Ashley's an idiot. Ashley said that Rebecca had supposedly
Orthrus.
planned the murders and Jack had carried them out. She posted a video stating that Jack was going to be arrested.
He knows that he's going to be arrested. Why would he spend his time doing that instead of spending time with his family and Murphy?
Docking permission
He's
requested.
literally spending time with Murphy and his family. He feels like Rebecca
Docking
Schofield
request
is
accepted.
wasting his time.
So she wasn't just defaming one person, she was defaming two. Okay. That being said, the lawsuit filed by Rebecca is the primary reason we're talking about her today, because it's like the biggest dunk on her.
Warp
for
drive
sure. Now, you'd
active.
think that when you're facing a defamation lawsuit, you'd have some kind of instinct for self-preservation to not continue doing the thing that has gotten you into the situation until you either prove that you're not defaming so you don't make your problem worse, or you go to jail and have to pay a bunch of money. Either one or the other. Like, it's a, you think you would just shut the f up for a while, but no. No, that's not what Ashley did. Just in case you thought she might have done that, you'd be wrong. Pleasant surprise, I know. Ashley, devoid of that inclination, she continued to double down and triple down, alleging that Rebecca had been responsible along with Jack. She even uploaded a video saying that the gratification she received from discovering her involvement in the murders was taken away because she now had to save it for court.
Rebecca took out some of the immediate gratification of discovering things about her, because now everything I find out about her crime she committed of ordering the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students, I have to save it.
So she's discovering more about Rebecca being a part of it, sounding like she's got some kind of evidence. That's what it sounds like, right? That's what it sounds like. Well, Ashley, tell us about the evidence. Luckily, Ashley uploaded a TikTok addressing the constant requests for evidence, you know, from rational people.
People have been asking me to provide evidence for the statements and allegations that Rebecca Schofield ordered, planned, initiated, and executed the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students.
In this TikTok, she would say that asking for evidence is the most ridiculous thing she's ever heard.
Now, people have been asking me for evidence, and I think that is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard.
This woman occupying space in my brain hurts my feelings, actually. I feel upset. I have like a tightness in my chest right now that I can't deal with. I'm gonna go cry after this. So yes, my friends, she says this after she again makes the claim that Rebecca and Jack are behind the murders.
Although she did not do it with her own hands, like I said, she hired with a promise to pay in different ways Jack the Killer.
Stop doing it. Then, when she says that asking for evidence for such a serious claim is just ridiculous, she replies by saying she's a psychic investigator and she's like some kind of god, I think. She's implying she's a god.
A psychic investigator, and Google it if you don't know what that is. Job is to lead, to guide, to a higher understanding, to give clarity.
And her job is to lead, guide, give clarity, and, I don't know, unite heaven and earth or something along those lines. She's a massive, delusional, freak, narcissist idiot. I'd say the clarity part would be providing evidence to prove that claims are true. That would be my opinion of clarity. That's what I would say clarity is. But no, guys. That's not Ashley Gillard clarity. All right, that's not Ashley Gillard clarity. That's the other type of clarity. She's on Tulsa time. She followed that up by saying it's the job of law enforcement to access the information given to them by a psychic investigator.
They have the infrastructure. They have the resources. to gather and the legal basis to request, subpoena, whatever evidence.
Any law enforcement using psychic investigators should be investigated with real investigations, I think. I don't think any psychic investigators should ever be used. I'm gonna be real with you. I think law enforcement did assess the information properly and they determined that it was bullshit.
What we didn't know at the time was investigators knew it was Brian Kohberger's car by November 29th.
He was under surveillance, I think, from the time that they realized that this is going to be where the evidence is leading them to.
The TikTok that this dumbass made has a part 2, luckily, that we can point, laugh, and look at. And she says in it that the burden of proof on her is an impossible task.
It seems to be an impossible task set before me. They're asking me to provide evidence when I don't have the infrastructure to seek the evidence, even if I know that it's there.
Can't actually provide a burden of proof that Rebecca is this primary suspect. It's impossible. Because Ashley doesn't have the resources, the infrastructure. I understand she can't gather evidence. She once again says that it's ludicrous to ask for proof and compares that to asking people who call in a tip line to provide evidence as well.
However, to be asking me for evidence, that's just ludicrous to me. That's just like asking anybody else in the tip line providing the tips that they requested for evidence of their tip. However, with God, with Christ, all things are possible.
My feelings are getting hurt, dude. I'm getting hurt feelings in this video. People like her, which there's a lot of them, by the way. There's a lot of people out there that just don't care about proof of anything. I'm so glad that the general consensus is innocent until proven guilty, or at least that's kind of how the court of law works most of the time. The justice system. Oh my gosh. Now, to somehow make the situation even worse, on top of alleging that Rebecca was responsible for the murders of the 4 students, she also alleged that Rebecca was trying to silence her, too, with her ex, like she was alleging Rebecca had done with Kaylee's ex, Jack.
It's light at the end of the tunnel because this is showing a pattern of behavior. So Rebecca Schofield and her team wanted to serve me. They wanted to do something to harm me, to silence me, right? So they contact my ex, so offers him money so that he can do something to betray me for money. Like I said, this lady uses her resources.
So yes, you're getting that correctly. Ashley is continuing to defame and slander Rebecca in the midst of a defamation lawsuit. Ashley, as you can imagine as well, was also sent several cease and desist letters to stop making these defamatory statements on TikTok. Guys, as you might also imagine, additionally on top of that, Ashley would upload those to TikTok saying she's going to use them as toilet paper because she is a mature person with a fully formed brain. Fully functioning, fully formed brain.
About to put this demand letter Rebecca Schofield attorney sent me by the tissue so I can wipe my with it.
Thank you to Atozy for having the clips in his videos, by the way. I was not around when this shit was going down, and it's been scrubbed. Now back to the murders out in Idaho. For 6 weeks, there was no arrests made, which was a massive cause of concern for the community. But on December 30th, 2022, Brian Kohberger was arrested in connection with the murders. So yeah, someone never named by Ashley. How crazy. They were arrested. And in spite of this arrest being made and
Insufficient
publicly talked about, Ashley would continue to insist that it was Rebecca and Jack who were behind the murder. She even uploaded a 39-minute long YouTube video on February 9th, 2023, almost 2 months after the arrest was made, titled Full Synopsis of the Plot to Kill the 4 University of Ohio Students, in which she says Rebecca's name 34 times.
So if there is anybody who doesn't care about spiritual wisdom or does not understand spiritual wisdom, and you have the authority to do more, to get evidence, you can, if you have the legal authority to, subpoena Rebecca Schofield's electronic.
That's a crazy bitch. That's a crazy bitch. This is yet another video where she's simply rambling about things that she couldn't possibly know about Rebecca and Kaylee. She's purely spewing nonsense like it's fact, continuing to defame everyone, including the victims. This video has 39 likes and 1,000 dislikes, which is awesome. That's a terrible dislike to like ratio. That's like really bad. Lots of comments, people calling her out, telling her how sickening she is as a person, and she's just continuing to incriminate herself in a massive lawsuit, which, dude, good. I hope she gets annihilated off the end of the earth. Well, Guys, how did Ashley do representing herself in court? Well, if using cease and desist letters as toilet paper is indicative to how seriously she would take court proceedings, then we get a pretty good idea of how things are going. Ashley failed to meet deadlines and also failed summons procedures as well. So then we get to perhaps the worst example of Ashley neglecting to properly prioritize this lawsuit and take steps to represent herself effectively as to not get reamed in court. She failed to respond to a request of admissions from Rebecca and her legal team.
Then we have the argument. She says, Ms. Gillard's failure to respond to requests for admission conclusively established material facts. And this is one of the procedural things that happens in a lawsuit.
Essentially what this means is that Rebecca and her legal team drafted up statements and facts in the case that they asked the other party, Ashley, to read over and either admit to them or deny them.
Basically, it's called a request for admissions, where you make certain statements about facts in the case and you ask the other party to either admit or deny. Following service of requests for admission under the rule, the responding party has 30 days to admit, deny, or object to the request.
If you fail to respond...
Engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Gonna pause to eat dinner here, guys, but it won't take long.
Approaching Stargate.
Gonna come back and watch video for real, and I'll be right back. Just gotta make a sandwich or something. I don't know what I'm gonna get.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Why did it have to be
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Oh, I don't know where my... Oh, I need ice water too. I'll be right back.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Now, what happened here? You like...
Party Ashley to read over and either admit to them or deny them.
Basically, it's called a request for admissions, where you make certain statements about facts in the case, and you ask the other party to either admit or deny. Following service of request for admission under the rule, the responding party has 30 days to admit, deny, or object to the request.
If you fail to respond, then everything is deemed as admitted.
By default, if you don't respond to that request for admissions, the things that they are asking you to admit are going to be deemed by the court to be admitted, whether you admit them or not.
This is really bad. Very bad. Mad Catster, friend of the show, describes this very well in his video, if you guys want to look at that.
To date, Ms. Gillard has not responded to Professor Schofield's request. Therefore, she's deemed to have admitted the truth
to
of
Stargate.
each fact
Warp
identified in
drive
Professor
active.
Schofield's request for admission.
It even states this clearly on the court listener site for this lawsuit, where it says it was ordered that Ashley, the defendant, would respond to the plaintiff, Rebecca, her request for admission, and failure to do so would result in matters being admitted, which is not good when you're saying that people killed people and you're accusing people of fucking murder, and you're just an idiot. You're so dumb. So now, what exactly was Rebecca asking Ashley to admit to? Tozy, friend of the show, has a segment of his video outlining the different statements that Rebecca was requesting Ashley to either admit or deny.
And here's essentially like the request for admission that she was sent that she didn't respond to.
And that ultimately all ended up with her admitting by default, because she's a idiot. She had 30 days, just saying, 30 days to not be an advanced human. You can check out Atozi's video if you want to see all of them. Here are some of the big ones that are really, really bad for Ashley to be admitting to. Miss Gillard stated publicly that Professor Schofield was involved with the murders of KG, MM, XK, and EC.
Admit that you have stated publicly that Rebecca Schofield was involved with what happened to the victims.
This is her admittance of the claim that Rebecca is responsible for the murders. Now, there is plenty of video evidence for this, but an admittance in court is still huge. Professor Schofield was not involved in the murders of KG, MM, XK, and EC.
4. Admit the plaintiff was not involved with the murders of Haley and the other victims.
This is her now admitting by default that she wasn't actually involved with the murders. Immediately after admitting that she claimed she was, and already admitting that's a defamation. Did I say that? Yes. Is it true? Well, no, it's not true. I admit that it's not true. She's not actually involved, but did I say she's involved? Yes, of course. I believe she's involved, but she's not. I'm just an idiot. I'm just a psychic. A TikTok psychic. The only basis for Miss Gillard's public statements that Professor Schofield was involved in the murders is Miss Gillard's spiritual research, intuition, and instinct. So yeah, that's pretty embarrassing to admit to as well. It's like, yeah, it's my, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Of course, she probably would voluntarily admit to that, though. What the hell? What are y'all doing? My dog just farted and got up, started acting crazy. So yeah, admit that you basically said everything you did simply because of a hunch, dude. You are so dumb. They completely skewer the fool, Ashley, here, man. They also got Miss Gillard to admit that she has no written information, she never spoke to another person to get information, and had no information that showed Professor Schofield ever have even met 3 of the 4 victims. Just totally embarrassing, a total shutdown, a total just L for Miss Gillard. Oh yeah, wait, a final important one is that Miss Gillard is not aware of any physical evidence linking Professor Schofield to the murders, which is just kind of a final nail in the coffin. And with these admissions, they attached Ashley's published TikToks to really seal the deal for her, which is bad. Yeah, so representing herself, she ended up just admitting to all these statements and gave up her entire case by failing to respond. So by default, she failed. She took the L. She's an idiot. What happened to her? Well, before we find out that, we also have to mention that Ashley thought she could get a motion to dismiss an anti-slap, but that's laughable because this is clearly defamation, and it was denied, of course, because justice is real. So now in the wake of all of this advanced behavior coming from Ashley and everything that she had said, done, failed to do, in June, there was a memorandum, a decision in order to determine whether or not Rebecca and her legal team could amend the complaint against Ashley to add punitive damages, as well as a motion for partial summary judgment. This is all a bunch of legal shit. Both were granted, and so when this goes to court, the jury can determine whether or not to award Rebecca Schofield punitive damages stemming from the defamatory statements made by Ashley Gillard, the idiot, the court idiot. Court jester. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so the partial summary judgment is a bit harder for me to speak on because I am not a lawyer and I'm an idiot. I will let the Mad Catster, an actual lawyer, explain it.
So that's where we stand in this shit show of a case. Ashley Gillard has now been determined by the court is liable for the defamation. So basically, when we go forward with trial, it's really just going to be to decide damages and punitive damages. So that's really what we're left with, because the jury doesn't have to decide whether Ashley Gillard's statements were defamatory. The court's already said she's liable for defamation because what she said is defamatory.
That's embarrassing. That's really, really, really embarrassing. How do you guys think Ashley Gillard responded to this? On June 13th, a week after the decision, she filed a motion for the case to be reassigned to a U.S. district judge. What the f does that mean? I have no idea. She also filed a motion to alter or amend the judgment. Sounds like she's trying to play chess. 4D chess. She's got psychic powers, so she might win. How would she like the judgment altered? On top of asking the court to reconsider the order granting partial summary judgment and adding potential punitive damages, she's also requesting the entire litigation and all order to be completely voided. She's just saying, this never happened. This never happened. I'm actually a smart, responsible person. This never happened. So yeah, man, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty funny. And furthering her idiot points, she states that the judgment is based upon a manifest error of law of fact and should be amended to prevent injustice and an impediment of justice due to lack of judicial impartiality. I think she used ChatGPT to help her. She got one of those like law GPTs or whatever that people get. This is like actually the dumbest person I've ever seen. This is crazy. Essentially, Ashley is saying that the judge is unfairly ruling against her. She's trying to demonstrate that the ruling is partial to the plaintiff and not the defendant. She's saying that the judge is allowing for excessive damages because of he doesn't get psychic tarot readings and he doesn't think that they're
approaching
Stargate. I don't know, dude. It's so dumb. At this point, I have no idea how anything could possibly ever go her way. She's done a terrible job representing herself. She needs a lawyer. I don't think the judge is partial to Rebecca, and if he were, I wouldn't blame him, because all Ashley has demonstrated is a complete lack of remorse, an inability to accept facts and reality that are clearly represented directly in front of you. Pure delusion and idiocy above all else. Absolute ignorant idiocy. She will continue to spread misinformation about a case that has been solved. The man responsible, Brian Koberger, has been arrested and police have never found any connection to Rebecca whatsoever. It's just mind-boggling. It genuinely mind-boggling. But guys, if you thought again that Ashley couldn't make things worse for herself, you'd be wrong, because she also attached a memorandum in support of her request, in which she includes a section called factual background. What are the facts included in this? She makes all the defamatory statements in her statement again as if they're factual. That is so stupid. There's not a word for this. During her spiritual investigation, she discovered that the students were the victims of a murder plotted by a history teacher who co-planned, hired, and executed the murders of the
Autopilot
male
disabled.
student. Gillard then conducted tarot card and oracle card readings on the staff listed on the U-Idaho's history webpage.
Drive
The tarot
active.
card and oracle card readings on Rebecca Schofield, who was listed as the chair and associate professor of the U-Idaho history department, revealed that she planned the murders and chose between two men to execute the murders. It also revealed that Schofield had a secret affair with one of the victims, Kaylee Goncalves. And her motive to have the students killed was to silence them and keep the affair secret to prevent them from being exposed.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I don't know what is going on. I'm confused. I think I've had a stroke and I'm in some kind of spirit world. Anyways, this is a person who's clearly lost their grip on reality.
Autopilot
and
engaged.
I mean, I wish she could go to jail for defamation. She's not going to be able to pay this stuff, and I feel like she doesn't have any money. What an idiot.
Warping to
This is the
Stargate.
dumbest person
Warp drive
ever.
active.
Ever. Oh my lord.
The house at number 3 Morehouse Street, Willigee, on the outskirts of Perth, Western Australia, was an unkempt white brick 2-bedroom bungalow. Its garden was overrun with weeds and dead flowers, and it was in bad need of a coat of paint. It was by far the worst house in the street, and the only good thing that could be said about it was that it made the other houses around it look like palaces. Yet this
Approaching
unglamorous dwelling
Stargate.
would become the most notorious house in Australia. In the ensuing years, people would slow down and point and whisper as they drove past it. It would become as infamous to Australians as the Chamber of Horrors at 213 Oxford Apartments, Milwaukee, became to Americans, or London's 10 Rillington Place and 25 Cromwell Street became to the British.
Autopilot jumping.
It was at 213
Check,
Oxford
check.
Apartments between 1988 to 1991 that Jeffrey Dahmer,
Thank you.
a 28-year-old chocolate factory worker, slaughtered 17 young men, had non-consensual sex, and
Warping to
mutilated their
Stargate.
corpses and
Warp
ate their
drive
body parts.
active.
It was at 10 Rillington Place in the
Wait. Oh, no. What'd you do? Go back. Damn it. Hurry up, you. Wait. Go back.
Hey y'all, Will here, otherwise Zelray, and today we're going to be getting into a once human video not know. Now I'll explain Starchrome in a little bit, but knowing that you can get 4,000 from your energy links, but it costs you a pretty penny, is good to know.
Approaching
Going on
Stargate.
to that, you have Severin. Severin, for your Stellar Planula, which is the currency that you earn from completing quests and finding hidden items like morphic chests, and a few other things, but those cover the two big ones. You can earn extra Star Chrome crates up to a limit of 8 per season, so that's another 4,000 Star Chrome to do your bidding as for what items, weapons, and armor you
Autopilot
might
jumping.
want to get from the season. The other thing that Severin has, Severin is in every town, so he's the same in every town, is controllers. Controllers are an item in the game that allow you to get the
Warping to
maximum
Stargate.
rewards from a
Warp
boss
drive
or a dungeon,
active.
which means that you can upgrade your gear or the mods on your gear by using these. However, they are limited. You can only get so many per week, per season. They're given to you via quests. They're given to you via the season limits on vendors like Severin. And they're also given to you weekly through other means, and I'll go over that in a second. However, if you use them all right away, by the time you get to the hardest content or near the hardest content, you won't be able to make your character strong enough, potentially,
Approaching
to complete that
Stargate.
content. So use your controllers sparingly, and know that they are limited, so when you decide to use them, you know you're using them for a good situation. Not to mention, not only Severin has controllers, but Nisa has controllers. You can get 20 controllers from Nisa per season
Autopilot
as well.
jumping.
And not only that, but events in the overworld have controllers. I don't see an event up right now.
Autopilot
They
disabled.
get taken out real quick this first week of
Autopilot
gameplay. People are
engaged.
swarming all over them. But you can get controllers and these things called cortexes, which I'll explain in a
Warping to
second. But
Stargate.
cortexes are big
Warp drive
mechanics that
active.
allow you to get even more more Starchrome, not controllers necessarily. So, controllers are very useful. Do not waste them. Do not blow them on everything. Use them sparingly. and use them when you need to absolutely go for an item upgrade for your character, is what I'm getting at with controllers. The last way to get controllers, and most people don't understand what warbands and hives are for. They understand a team.
Approaching
Like you have a
Stargate.
team of people that play together, and hives are kind of understandable. You have a bigger group of friends to play with. But warbands, for PvE, yeah, you understand that you want to have a warband so you can do wars. And you have up to 30 people in your roster, but for PvE, they're a little bit bare bones. You can't use them for much, and I hope that they do change that soon. You can donate to the Warband Fund, and this is important.
Jumping.
You can see that I have a weekly contribution cap, and I max it out at a 10 out of 10. You can use different items to sell. I used this time, which I thought was the best, are the vanadium crystals. I think the rest of them I have are in my base.
Warp drive
But you
active.
get 55 times 10s, that's 550 credits this week. Next week, I'm pretty sure the best item will be the... Where are they? They're 71. You'll probably see it before I do. But there's an item, there it is, platinum crystal. You can get 710 per week, and as you get them throughout the season, you sometimes get these damaged data discs, so that's 200 per pop. And that's all fine and great, but what do you use them on? You can use them on more controllers. 450 points a week gets you 3 controllers. All I'm getting at is that they give you a lot of
Approaching
options to
Stargate.
use and get controllers, but you need to know where they are. You can also get here canned fruit and canned lunch meat. They're good purchases, but not as good as the controllers. So warbands are a great way to bring people together and get everyone in one area, but it also allows people to be able to reap more rewards from the game.
Autopilot
Getting
jumping.
on to the last thing, which are hives, I want to mention. Hives are a great way not only to bring friends together, but to get more Star Crumb every week. And it's a very easy way to do it
Warping
if you
to
know.
Stargate. Warp drive
So-
active.
We're going to be looking at that. I'm glad that that loading screen was short. They're usually pretty short, but that one felt even more
Thank you,
short.
Zelray, for the excellent content for
What
streaming.
you
I'd like
need
to sub to
for
your
the
channel.
hive uses is that you have a special item called a Stardust Resonant Filter. It's a function facility in your facilities when you build your base. And never do what I'm doing right now. Don't build this in the middle of your base. You will destroy it. Because what this does is
Approaching
it allows
Stargate.
you to make a purification defense mission, and enemies are going to bum rush this thing to try to destroy it. But if you purify your cortexes, which I talked about beforehand, you can amass a weekly limit of 40 cortexes, and that will give you roughly 4,000 Star Crumb on average,
Autopilot jumping.
which is huge. So, fumbling buttons. We have a defense master in our hive, and they're right there. How this
Moving to
works
Stargate.
is that
Warp drive
the enemies
active.
can only spawn on the ground, and you can see the base is all in the water. So the enemies have to funnel into the base. There's going to be guns and defensive measures there that help to keep them at bay. And we hang up on the top and shoot down on them. So they're just being rained on by bullets as we do everything that we can. You know what I mean? And that allows us to do all 40 at once in a couple minutes, and anyone in the hive that is in this region and zone when it happens can reap the rewards of that Star Crumb. And it's not
Approaching
split,
Stargate.
it's just an even, everyone gets the same reward. So you can be one and done in like 5 minutes if you preemptively farmed up your cortexes. In week 1 you can only get up to cortex level 2, in week 2 and forward cortex level 3 that give you a slight bump in your Star Crumb rewards. Now, I mentioned Star Crumb a lot, and people may not know what it's for. So, if you go over to this
Autopilot
Mr. Wish
jumping.
machine, you can make a wish or go to the blueprint shop. I'm just going to go over to make a wish. You can see that I already have this weapon. This is a Last Valor. This is something that I earned through the wish machine.
Warping
What
to
I
Stargate.
personally like doing, and I'm
Warp
not saying
drive
that you
active.
should, but I really like using Echoes of the Rift once randomly in the season, just to see what I get. I like the sense of mystery that I don't know what I'm going to get, and it could be a really cool item, or it may not. I have no idea. However, the smart way to use the Mr. Wish machine is to find a weapon that you like the Last Valor, and look at what you can get from this and say, okay, well, not only can I get a Last Valor, but I can get some fragments for the Last Valor, and I can get some cool guns too, so maybe it's worth it. Just instead of spending all my money to get a designated and for sure Last Valor, I can spend a couple thousand more Star Crumb and get all this extra stuff. And then you can go through the weeks. Okay, Caged Prisoner, what's this do? You can take a look, you can hit that exclamation point. Oh, it increases my shrapnel trigger count by an additional 1, which the Last Valor does shrapnel damage, and maybe I want that item. What else does this drop? Oh, the Renegade set, or at least pieces of the Renegade set. So that could be handy if I want to focus on weak spot damage as well. There's a lot of information in these. Like Boom Boom and the Hardy Gloves, that's a burn build that they give you on these two. This is more of a shrapnel build. You could also roll randomly. But there's one other thing you can do. You can go to the blueprint shop and just outright buy items. However, that Last Valor, at worst, would have cost you 10,000 Star Crumb and you get all those other bonuses. You can buy a legendary weapon outright for 8,000, but you gain no other bonuses. So you're pretty much stuck with it. That's up to you on how you want to use your Star Crumb. You can get sets of armor pretty cheap though. You can get 3 pieces for 9,000. And it's pieces that you get to decide and not what the machine gets to decide for you. So say, we saw the Renegade set and it was a 3-piece set, but we need a 4th piece to be able to get the full set bonus. So we might buy 1 piece here for 3,000 and spend 10,000 on the set to get the rest of those 3 pieces. Just to show you a way that it might be able to be used. That pretty much does it for Star Crumb. You can get a ton throughout this game. It's how you pretty much upgrade your character with your armors and weapons. You can find armor and weapons throughout the map. Wherever you see one of these Rift Anchors, typically you can do a mission in that area where it's like defeat the enemies, defeat the elite enemy, find the mystical crate, and that mystical crate or chest is what drops you fragments or your blueprints, so that you can earn more weapons and armor pieces to play with. And you get a lot throughout the game without even using Star Crumb. But Star Crumb is a great way to add to your list and also bolster the items by increasing their star values.
Oh, I forgot.
As well.
Damn it.
Mind you, if you have any questions about the game, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even if it isn't something directly in this video, I'm more than happy to help you. After all that is said and done, we're going to be talking about some settings that are really important, I find. And the biggest one is right when you enter settings, just drag all the way down on the very bottom. Whispers are those little flowers in the game. I'm sure you found them. You've been trying to loot an enemy and you get a pop-up of someone saying something that you don't care about because it was in a whisper in the wrong location. Or you're trying to get on your bike and you're just reading what someone's saying in a random area. Sometimes whispers are really cool and they're worthwhile reading. But most of the time, they're in the way and troublesome. And now, you can just turn them off. And that's a great thing to be able to do. If you like whispers because there's something that you found in Elden Ring or the Soul series beforehand and you like that idea, keep them on. That's not a problem. But if you do get frustrated because they're put in a bad area and they feel kind of malicious in their placement, you can turn them off. So that is something that you can absolutely do. And that's the biggest setting I think really I need to talk about. That's the only one. I want to talk about weapons that you find in the overworld versus weapons that you make in your crafting tables. Anything that you make, you can repair. Anything that you can't make, or that you don't make, but you might be able to, you still can't repair. So any found weapon, because it wasn't made by you, means that you cannot repair it. However, when you do find a weapon in the overworld, it has a high chance of giving you a calibration override setting. And what calibrations do is you can upgrade your weapon in your crafting bench, and it will increase the damage of your weapon, which is honestly very, very cool. It's a great way to upgrade your weapons and make yourself stronger. However, you can see at level 4 and level 7, you get bonuses, and at level 10, you get another bonus. But you can replace these calibrations based on weapons that you find in the world, such as this one. I can have a knife for my melee weapon, and then I can put light striker style on it, which increases my movement speed, and it also makes my light strikes increase in their attack speed up to 30%, and then everything else is crit rate. So you can totally change your weapons up based on what calibrations you find for them. This is a great way to tweak a weapon to fit your perfect playstyle, and it's worth doing. How you get those calibrations is you take something that you found, you bring it over to the disassembly bench, and I'm just going to disassemble that right now because I need to. But you have weapons and armor that allow you to do the same thing. You can break these down, and they can give you an output of a calibration item. So a very handy thing there. Along with other items that make sense for you to have at all times, one of them is an adrenaline shot. You get that from your supply workbench. And your supply workbench is, space twisters are also huge. But your adrenaline shot, when you go into your down but not out stage, this is when you lose all your health, and you're just like kind of on your knees crawling around waiting for someone to hopefully revive you. You don't necessarily need to feel pathetic. You can totally build more adrenaline shots in the game. You need to unlock a mimetic to do it, but when you do, you can have like 20 of these on you at all times, so you know if you have you made a mistake, you ran into too many enemies, or you used all your stamina running and you jumped off a cliff and you were going to use space so you could glide down, but you didn't have any stamina, so you just like shot down and lost all your health in a drop. You can brush yourself back off afterwards by using an adrenaline shot. You might feel bad about something stupid you did, but you can fix that problem. You can also craft activators, which is your main healing item in the game. And these are always handy to have. If you're at 20% health and you know the next shot's going to kill you, well, might as well have a way to fix it. You're going to be able to run out of activators quickly in the game if you use them a lot. You can always make more. A lot of people don't realize that you can, because in your mimetics, which you can open with O on your keyboard, you have to go to, here's your adrenaline shots and your HP recovery. More people know about that, but adrenaline shots themselves are all in their own little spot here. But when you do upgrade your mimetics, make sure you're reading what you do get from that. If you click on it, you can see that you get activators and quick activators. An HP recovery 2, you get quick long-lasting activators, which are honestly one of the best activators you can get in the game, and you can get them early. Just pay attention when you're unlocking stuff what you actually get, because there's some really cool things that you can get in your unlocks that people don't necessarily understand. With that, I don't really think I need to talk about mimetics. These are pretty well straightforward if you do read them. However, what I did want to touch upon, one more thing that your character can do but people don't understand how to use it. If you press X and then drag your mouse down, you can get to an emote screen. And this emote screen is very needed in the game. There are NPCs that ask you to emote at certain times so that you can unlock a reward, like a puzzle. And I don't know how many times I've been asking, like, how do I emote? I don't understand. I know what I need to, but I don't understand how to get to the section to allow myself to do so. So you hold X, you drag down, and you release X, you get a whole bunch of them. You also get expressions in this, so you can put little emojis above your character's head. So that's a fun thing too. Beyond that, I just want to talk about deviants a little bit. So deviants are a big part of this game. They come in 3 varieties. Let's start with territory deviants, like the Digby Boy. The Digby Boy is given on the first hit of any tin ore, but also it has a high chance of dropping from silver ore when you mine it. And it goes out into your territory and finds ores for you to make more and more bars, ingots of steel, bronze, copper, whatever tier you're on, it'll find it for you. And there's plenty of these. Now, as of the beta, you can only have 8 of these at one time. I'm pretty sure that's still the max. However, I haven't done that yet. I'm going to have a whole video on deviants that you can find within the first week, and another one for the second week as like a fully comprehensive way to get what you can get.
Warp drive active.
There are also combat deviants, such as the Frost Jelly, and these changed a lot. It used to be in the beta that the Festering Gel, bar none, was the best deviant you can get. And this was because it gave you something that you could get nowhere else. Healing and pretty much absorbing bullets. It also healed your sanity, not just your health. So you didn't need to worry about sanity, you didn't need to worry about your health as much, and you can hide behind it as a form of cover. And that was so strong that no one really wanted to use anything else. So since the betas came out, they heard the cries of the community, and they made it so the polar jelly, which used to just be a splash of extra frost damage from, it was long range, so it was kind of nice, but it was just a frost damage, like a grenade almost. Not very useful, but you know, it can maybe help you. Now what it can do is if enemies are in a zone surrounding it, they take 31.5% more damage from your incoming frost damage or outgoing frost damage incoming to the enemy. This means that if you are running a frost vortex build, you are doing 30% extra damage. So for a frost vortex build, polar jelly is most likely going to be your top dog as far as deviations are concerned. They have multiple of these. The Shattered Maiden, which is a new deviant, if you look down at what it does in its auto attack, when it is slowing down and chaining enemies, it also increases their explosion damage received by 50%. So the Jaws, which is an amazing weapon that does blast and explosion damage, can do even more damage now. And then this deviation can also do its own attacks. So they really made combat deviants stand out and express themselves more and really have a place in the game. The last type of deviant that they have is called a crafting deviant, such as the Space Turner. Excuse me. This is also, in my opinion, the best crafting deviant in the entire game, because what it allows you to do is make an item called a Space Twister that anyone in your team will be given the option to teleport to you from anywhere in the world. And this is so strong to do content that everyone should get it. Let me just give you a tip here. This drops from the Dayton Hospital, which is down... Here we go. Here's Deadsville, the starting town. Here's the Monolith of Greed, which is the starting boss location. The Dayton Hospital is right above that. There's a quest that's by this Dayton warehouse. You can complete that quest line. It will always drop the Space Turner. And you'll have these Space Twister items to be able to summon people to your location so that you can do more content with your friends quicker. It's a great thing to have. Later on, I will be doing a deviant guide about all the deviants. So, as I said, that's to come. I'm going to be doing guides about weapons as well, and how to make the most out of your weapons. There was a Strange Door deviant. I don't have it producing content anymore, but the Strange Door itself allowed...
I don't want any more spoilers. Go see what else is on YouTube. Oh yeah, so I like this serial killers documentary thing. It's actually really good.
Rillington Place in the early 50s that mild-mannered office clerk and necrophiliac serial killer John Christie murdered his victims, had sex with their corpses, and buried their bodies in the backyard, under the floorboards, and in the wall cavities. It was at 25 Cromwell Street through the 70s and 80s that laborer Fred West and his wife Rose had non-consensual sex, tortured and murdered their victims, and buried 9 of their bodies in the backyard. The house at number 3 Morehouse Street was Australia's very own House of Horrors. It was the love nest, torture chamber, and killing field of Catherine and David Burney, who, like the Wests, were a husband and wife serial killer team, the rarest form of serial killers in the world. It was here that they committed atrocities to their young female victims. The Burneys weren't particularly fussy about who they murdered, as long as they were female. Their victims' ages ranged from 15 to 31. Whenever the Burneys felt like killing someone, they'd drive along the highways of Perth and pick up hitchhikers or other young women in need of a lift. Their victims never suspected the friendly couple until it was too late. At knife point, they were taken back to Morehouse Street and tied up and abused as the Burneys carried out their sexual fantasies. Then they were murdered. The lucky ones were put to sleep with an overdose of sleeping pills and then strangled. The less fortunate victims were either stabbed or bludgeoned to death with a knife or an axe as they sat in their shallow graves in a secluded pine forest a short drive out of Perth. On November 5, 1986, Detective Sergeant Paul Ferguson was convinced that there was a serial killer on the loose when 21-year-old Denise Karen Brown was reported missing. Denise's disappearance was the fourth young woman in 27 days. That type of thing just didn't happen in Perth. In other large Australian capital cities, such as Sydney or Melbourne, yes, but not in Perth. All of the missing women came from good homes, and it was extremely unlikely that any one of them would simply disappear for no good reason, let alone all of them. Ferguson had eliminated all of the possibilities of links between the missing girls and investigated the possibilities of secret boyfriends, married lovers, or hidden drug problems that might cause any of them to disappear. He turned up nothing. Ferguson's instinct, drawn from years of experience, told him that there was a serial killer on the loose. A serial killer who had the power to abduct young women and make them disappear. What puzzled Detective Ferguson most was that two of the women hadn't completely disappeared, in that friends and relatives had received letters and telephone calls from them after they had been reported missing. 15-year-old Susanna Candy had posted two letters to her parents, one from Perth and the other from the nearby port of Fremantle, in the first 2 weeks after she'd disappeared. Both letters said that she was well and that she would return home soon. And Denise Brown had phoned a girlfriend the day after she had disappeared to tell her that everything was fine. After that, no one had heard a word. It just didn't add up. Ferguson's gut feeling told him to expect the worst. He consulted former CIB chief Bill Nelson, who agreed with his serial killer theory. And if anyone was entitled to an opinion, it would be the veteran multiple homicide investigator, a police officer among the most respected in the state. Bill Nelson was the officer in charge of the hunt for Perth serial killer Eric Edgar Cook, the mild-mannered truck driver who had ruthlessly murdered 6 people, and possibly 2 others, in the early 1960s, to become the most notorious multiple murderer in Western Australia's history. Nielsen had brought him to justice and saw Cook swing at the end of a rope in Fremantle Prison in 1964. On November 10th, 5 days after the disappearance of Denise Brown, Detective Ferguson and Detective Sergeant Vince Kadich were following up leads on Denise's disappearance when they got the breakthrough they were so desperately waiting for. They were told on the two-way radio that a half-naked young woman had just staggered into a small Willagee shopping complex and had been taken to the Palmyra police station. Thinking that the missing Denise Brown had turned up, Ferguson and Kadich sped to the police station. Instead, it was a 16-year-old girl who told them the most amazing story. The terrified teenager said that she'd been abducted at knife point the previous evening by a man and a woman who asked her directions as she walked along the street near her home in fashionable Netherlands. She was taken to a house in Willagee where the couple ripped off all of her clothing before chaining her to a bed by her hands and feet. The girl said the man repeatedly forced her to have sex as the woman watched. The couple spoke of injecting cocaine into the head of the man's penis. The following morning, after the man had gone to work, the woman unchained the girl and forced her to telephone her parents and tell them that she was staying with friends and that she was okay. While she was using the phone, she was astute enough to note the number. When the woman left the bedroom to answer the door, presumably to let in a cocaine dealer, the girl found an open window and escaped. She was able to give police a full description of her attackers, along with their telephone number and address. When the girl had told detectives Ferguson and Kadich of the phone call she was forced to make to her parents, they immediately became suspicious that the couple may be the kidnappers of the 2 young women who disappeared and had wrung their families under suspicious circumstances. Also, there was little doubt in their minds that the fact that the girl was allowed to see the couple's faces and where they lived could mean that she was marked for death once they had finished with her. If this was the case, then it was highly likely that the couple had already killed, perhaps many times, and another death wouldn't matter. The girl led the team of armed detectives to the disheveled white brick house in Morehouse Street. There was no one at home. 2 detectives hid in a panel van parked in the driveway and apprehended a very tense and nervous Catherine Margaret Burney when she arrived home. She told them where to look for the man. Minutes later, other detectives picked up John David Burney where he worked as a laborer in a spare parts car yard. The Burneys vigorously denied the girl's allegations. Instead, they claimed that she had been a willing party and had gone with them to share a bond of marijuana. Bernie admitted to having sex with the girl, but maintained that he had not forced her to have sex. A search of the house found the girl's bag and a packet of cigarettes that the girl had the common sense to conceal in the ceiling as proof positive that she had actually been there. But there was little else to prove the allegation of non-consensual sex or connect the Bernies with any of the other missing women. Knowing that they needed a confession to confirm their suspicions, Ferguson and Kadich hoped that under intense questioning, one of the Bernies would crack and at least admit to the non-consensual sex with the young girl. It was her word against theirs. Ferguson and Kadich grilled the Bernies separately. It was David Bernie who eventually cracked. Just after 7 p.m. that evening, Detective Sergeant Kadich said to David Bernie, half-jokingly, in reference to the missing women, "It's getting dark. Best we take the shovel and dig them up." To his astonishment, Bernie replied, "Okay, there's 4 of them." The detective couldn't believe his ears. When told of her lover's confession, Catherine Bernie also broke. They agreed to take police to the bodies that were
Autopilot
buried
engaged.
not far from the city. It was as though it was a load off David Bernie's mind. He spoke freely with the detectives as he directed the
Moving
convoy
to
of vehicles
Stargate.
out of the metropolitan
Drive
area and
active.
toward the state forest north of the city. The convoy moved along Wanneroo Road and through the pine forests. Bernie was so relaxed and chatting so much that they were almost at Yanchep before he realized that they had gone too far and instructed them to turn around and go back. Squinting into the darkness, David Bernie recognized a track that led off the highway and into the darkness of the Gnangara pine plantation. About 400 yards into the forest, Bernie instructed them to stop.
Approaching
He pointed
Stargate.
to a mound of sand. "Dig there," he said. Within minutes, police had uncovered the corpse of Denise Karen Brown, who had been reported missing only 5 days earlier. With the guard placed around the shallow grave,
Hightown,
Bernie
see the
directed the
whole
convoy
world.
south to the Glen Eagle picnic area on the Albany
Okay.
Highway near Armadale. After traveling for half an hour, Bernie guided police into the forest and
I love
along
this
a
game.
narrow track. Up an
Autopilot
incline about
jumping.
40 yards from the track, police uncovered the decomposing body of 22-year-old Mary Frances Nielsen, who had gone
It's all
missing on
foggy.
October 6th. A further kilometer down the track, David Bernie pointed out the burial site of 15-year-old Susanna
Moving to
Candy,
Stargate.
who hadn't been seen
Drive
since October
active.
19th. Detective Sergeant Kadich was amazed that neither of the Bernies showed any emotion or embarrassment while the bodies were being uncovered. If anything, they appeared to enjoy being the center of attention as they pointed the graves out to police. Then, Catherine Bernie said that it was her turn. She would like to indicate the position of the next grave. She pointed out that it was where they had buried 31-year-old Noeline Patterson, who they had kidnapped and murdered on the 30th of October. Catherine Bernie went to great lengths to explain to police that she disliked Noeline from the moment that she and David had abducted her. She was glad that she was dead. As she pointed out the
Approaching
grave to the
Stargate.
police, she spat on it. She showed a great deal of pride in being able to find the grave unassisted. It was as if she didn't want David Bernie to get all of the credit. As they left the burial grounds, David Bernie commented to Kadich, "What a pointless loss of young life." There was absolutely no doubt in the detective's mind that if the young girl hadn't escaped earlier in the day, the killings would have gone on. Psychiatrists attached to the case agreed that Catherine Bernie
Autopilot
could not have
jumping.
killed on her own. She just wasn't the type. But the quiet mother of 6 children was totally obsessed with David Bernie and would do anything for him, including murder. She was even prepared
Walking
to
to
take her own
Stargate.
life for him.
Warp drive
When he
active.
got too fond of one of their victims, Catherine turned the knife on herself and said that she would rather die by her own hand than see him fall in love with anyone else. David Bernie was a completely different story. The product of a desperately poor family, he'd been in and out of institutions and prisons all of his life and was always going to end up in jail for a long time. But no one could possibly have forecast the magnitude of his crimes. David John Bernie was the eldest of 6 children. Margaret and John Bernie did their best for their kids, but times were tough. For all of their young lives, the authorities periodically took the children away from their parents and placed them in government institutions. David Bernie's parents had a long history of chronic alcoholism. At the time of the murders, David Bernie's mother was living in destitute squalor. Her tiny apartment was
Approaching Stargate.
overflowing with food scraps, dirty dishes, full ashtrays, and broken furniture. The place was covered in dust and grime. She had given up hope years ago and could not recall seeing her eldest son in years. David Burney's father died in 1986 after a long illness. Catherine and David first met as youngsters when their families lived next door to each other. Catherine's life was also one of doom and despair. Her mother died when she was 10 months old, and the infant went to live in South Africa with her father. She was bundled back to Australia after 2 years and was fostered by her grandparents. A sad little girl who rarely smiled, she had no friends. Other children weren't allowed to play with her, and even before she reached high school, her mind was scarred by loneliness. She desperately wanted to be loved. She would find that love in David Burney later on in her sad life, but it would drive her to a loneliness and despair that she never knew was possible. David Burney was reunited with Catherine when they were both in their late teens. David already had an extensive record for juvenile offenses.
I admit it does sound
The only time that he showed that he might make something of himself was in the early 1960s when he trained as an apprentice jockey. But like most things in David Burney's life, that didn't last long. Trainer Eric Parnham recalled Burney as a pale, sickly-looking boy who he took on just to give him a job. Burney was recommended as an apprentice prospect, and Parnham went to pick the boy up at his home. The house was a derelict slum surrounded by a pack of dogs. Burney stayed in the stables for almost a year and showed enough ability to become a good jockey. Parnham eventually sacked him when he was...
I am not sure of its culinary preferences. You'll have to look around.
Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Autopilot engaged.
I'm fine.
Excellent question. Perhaps it is waiting to be fed or to feast. So maybe make sure to bring something to feed it in case you want to make a quick escape. Yes, the place is not much to look at and is polluted with stardust. But where better to find a hidden treasure? From what people say, there are strange occurrences in the area. The work of a deviation. Nobody has been able to get a good look at it, though.
105 fucking gigs.
Approaching Stargate.
You know, this game's so small, it opens up my drive a bit. I don't know what's on this right now. I think I want to look for group on my Black Mage.
Autopilot
I'm done with
jumping.
silver. Okay, so let's go start copper.
The entire mudflats are shrouded in thick fog,
drive
but there are reports of a strange sound emanating from the impenetrable wall of mist. Some believe a monster lies within. Unfortunately, that's all I can tell you. Finding the real truth is up to you now. I have plenty of confidence in you. Just be careful.
How big is 12? Ah, I own the... I want to put this on my C drive. I've got enough room. Yeah, I want to load 12. Wait, I'll pause for now. It's okay, but yeah, I want to load 12 when you're not paying attention yet. Or well, let's cancel it maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna play it right now.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Cool, I found another town. What level am I now? Oh yeah, should I check the... I still haven't gone and done the, that. I should claim all those. Leopard cardigan. It's a top. Huh. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, I can do something for him, huh?
Approaching Stargate.
I have a fry chain. Okay. Dragon Fist gloves, cool.
Autopilot jumping.
I have 3 different pairs of pants. I picked up this. I like it.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
She looks like Tifa. I fucking love it. I love this fucking game. Terror Fire or whatever. I don't know. I like it, but I don't want to wear it. I think I liked her naked. That was cool, but I don't want it, no.
Approaching Stargate.
I got used to her butt. Now I don't want anything else. Now that I got this teleporter, I guess I can teleport home. And I will, and I forgot, but I wanted to... Oh yeah, talk, what's this shop got? Formula for an American cabinet for 3,000.
Autopilot jumping.
Formula for an American wall lamp. I'll definitely take it. Advanced combat optics. And if it can be equipped on a series that it gets sold. And aiming speed stability. Advanced combat optic. Okay. For the
Warping to
soccer.
Stargate. Warp drive active.
And I used all of my points. Medium frame 2. A house blueprint. Red dot sight for the... oh yeah? Okay, well... Let's get that one. Compact muzzle brake, huh? Okay, can't afford it. This shop is cool, though. Hells yeah. Let's go use all those things I bought. Wait, what's that? It's a paper figure. It works as it will discover lost materials while cleaning the place. Oh, I have a deviation that I didn't realize. Oh, okay. Well, let's go home, then. I love this fucking game. I think this is what Tower of Fantasy wanted to be, but wasn't. There was something missing from Tower of Fantasy. Otherwise, it was a really good game. It was building. Once you give us like player housing, it just it unlocks all of this. It gives us a reason to do all this. It's a very good, you know, gameplay loop.
Stargate.
Fuck. Finding the teleporter is annoying. I guess they're trying to guide me to it with the blue light, but I can't really see it that well. I love all the detail and everything. It's actually cool. Okay, so now I've discovered like a southern area now. It's not that far from my original base, but we're gonna teleport back to my... Well, I want to teleport to
Autopilot
that teleportation tower. Yeah, for free, because I don't want to burn my cooldown. This game is a lot better than it has a right to be.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
55. I'm gonna buy 3 more. Wow, I'm still
approaching Stargate.
Autopilot, huh? Oh, Norvur Kuiken, huh? Alright.
Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Warp drive active.
Okay, so... Thank you. Wait, oh my god, I went way wrong. I went way wrong. Just go home at this point. You're stupid. Just go home. I'm learning to just go home. Get off this thing. Get off it. Get off it. Off it. Off it now. Oh, I'm gonna do the jump just because the jump is fun and it's like exploration. See if I can find anything or see anything. I love this game. It's like the, I'm learning the live service still does Horizon Zero Dawn and Souls-like better than Horizon Zero Dawn and Souls-like. Like live services, like New World was better than Souls-like in my opinion. And I think this game's better than, like Horizon Zero Dawn mixed with Rust. It's such a good game. Fortnite in a way. It's got a lot of Fortnite in it. This is an actually next-gen game in my opinion. Now, I want you to take me home. Take me back to your house, Come on, take me back to your house. Just take me home. Don't want to go home alone. Now. I'm gonna play the Oblivion OST now. I don't want to hear about serial killers anymore. No combat tracks. Yep. There we go. Okay, I am trying to modify. We have a munitions amplifier talent, weapon damage up 6%. Oh, cool! I turned my this mod. Oh, 3.2%, and it also gives Blaze, Frost, Shock, and Blast. That's cool. Nice. So for this, I want to see if I can make a good gun yet. Like, can I make a better gun than this now? KMBP, but I don't know. Do I have this yet? No, I don't have that yet. Damn it, I need to go find, strongholds. Level 11 to 20 strongholds. Fucking annoying. I don't even know where that would be. Like a lone light, yeah. I'm getting there. Weapon mod parts. Half a picture. I have butterfly dye, commonly seen hair dye. Okay, well, let's go back and see the mirror, maybe. Oh, I see. Okay, so I want... I don't even understand, really. I want the cat ears. Oh, why can't you put the helmet correct? If the helmet was actually a real thing, it would be so much better. I like that one. That one actually looks really good. I want that one too. Participate in events, so. I need that one because it has the cat ears, but I have to buy it, and it's stupid. Space full.
Warp drive active.
Oh, they're blue now? Okay. Ooh, I got a party. Yes, please.
Intel. Incoming tell.
Hi guys, I love you. I got a party on my Black Mage, which makes me very, very happy. I shall go boom pew pew things with my Black Mage in the greatest game ever made, Final Fantasy XI. Duck, 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 duck.
Warp drive active.
I don't think well, yeah, I don't think, yeah, you're arriving at the Miasmos, but yeah, I, like, honestly don't really need you right now. I'm not going to do anything on you, so I'm going to have you leave the ship. Leave the ship. I'll just bring a Miasmos to where we were. That's okay. And I want you to undock and suicide.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Why can't I see sneaking invis? There we go. I don't like the sound of the broom. I don't think I can handle it. I like the broom, but we're gonna claim all safe haven barrier and stuff. Yeah, claim all. No, I want you to withdraw, and I want you to use the facility, and I want you to put the Digby boy in there. He makes less noise. So now we're going to Eastern Altepa. F9.
Incoming emote.
So salt, which takes seawater. I'll go
Incoming
get that.
party invite.
Oh, nice, I'm in.
You've been examined.
I don't want to do that. Fuck.
Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased.
Oops. God damn it. I'm gonna piss. I'll be right back.